Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, y'all. Happy Sunday. Hello. 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 I just want to talk to you all for a few minutes. It's Sunday. Give God the glory. Today was CUPCAKE's funeral today on a Sunday. On God's Day. On God's Day. Hello. Baby CUPCAKE's funeral on God's Day. Sundays are spiritual days. Sundays are always the day that we picked to go and worship God. Some of us worship God, at our church homes, and some of us worship God, in the privacy of our own homes, Some of us have different beliefs in God, different religions that we practice, but it all leads to one God, no matter what religion, whatever your religion preference is, it all leads to one God. Do y'all believe that? Do y'all believe it's one God? Some of us call him Jehovah. Some of us call him Allah. But there's one God. And I hope that you all had a chance to give God the glory. It turned out to be a beautiful day. It's been kind of cold, a little chilly here in the DMV area. I'm just still in shock a little bit. I'm still in shock. Seeing this baby's funeral today, just this whole case from the beginning, from the time that we all found out that this 3-year-old child, was taken, as days went on, we found out the details, of the situation, and I know it scared a lot of us, It opened a lot of our eyes, I know it opened a lot of our eyes, I know it opened my eyes. I don't know what was so different about that. Shut that door, DJ. I don't know what was so different about that when we have lost so many children. We have lost so many children. How did we lose sight of that? What was so different about this little baby, this 3-year-old baby that, that was different from all of the other 3-year-old babies and 4-year-old babies and 5-year-old babies? What was so different about that? But one thing's for certain, two things for sure. It was just something about this one that just opened my eyes. I have adult children, but I have grandchildren, and I have nieces and nephews that are little. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and I have a 3-year-old nephew, that I love to death, and I know that this situation has opened my eyes up, and it just make me, sit back and observe what could we do to change this, What are we going to do to change all of this stuff? How can we change all of these things, from happening to these kids? When is this type of stuff going to stop happening to our children? When does it come to an end? You know what? We as parents are going to have to end this. by taking better care of our children. We as parents, we're going to have to end this by taking better care of our children, watching out for our children more, supervising our children, making sure our children are good. Stop putting everything before our children. That's what we're going to have to start doing to stop this situation from happening. Otherwise, it's never going to stop happening. It's never going to stop happening. People are getting very, very comfortable, y'all, with our children. They're getting very comfortable with, doing things to harm our kids. They're getting very comfortable, with snatching our children off the street. People are getting very comfortable with that. Very, very comfortable. And we can't keep allowing this to happen. What was so different, with CUPCAKE's disappearance than, any other ones? There has been a lot of children who have been murdered in that way, who have been snatched off the street, who have been found in situations like that. It has been a lot of children. But we, as the parents, hold the key. We hold the key to stopping this, to putting a stop to this. We hold the key to that. And the key is taking better care of our children. Stop feeling so damn free to just let these children just run free. Give them some of your time. Give them your undivided attention. These children cannot raise themselves. And we're going to have to start putting some things into place to make sure you parents start doing better with your children. Stop relying on every time that a messed up situation happens with your kids that the system is responsible for mending things back. As you know, we deal with the system that's failing us day by day. It is so many children who are dying who have been put in the system. Why put them in a situation where you have to rely on the system, for resources in the first place? Why? When we have a system that's set up to fail miserably, it has. It's a fact. It has been so many children who have died just this year alone, who have been in the system, who have had open investigated cases, who have been put back into the wrong hands. This stuff happens every single day. It didn't happen it didn't happen a lot this year with our kids. It happened a lot last year. Open investigations with our children, and yet they still end up dead. They still end up dead. Like, what are we going to do to stop this situation? The problem with this lies in us as parents. It really does. If you all don't get that and understand that, I don't know what it's going to take. How many children is it going to take to leave this earth in such a way? We have so many things against us. It's like open season on our children. And I'm talking about all of our children as a whole. The children of the world. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not specifying the color. I'm talking about kids in a whole. Because these children are being failed in every nationality. Child abuse and child neglect happens in every nationality all over this world. It just doesn't stop here. It just doesn't happen here in the United States of America. It just doesn't happen in your state or in your town or in your community. It happens all over the world. There are millions of children that suffer abuse and neglect on a daily basis. We have millions of children, hundreds of thousands of children that are put in situations that are missing right now, simply because they have been put in a situation where someone just simply wasn't even watching them. Simply wasn't even watching them. Simply felt free to just allow their children to raise themselves. We have so many situations where that takes place all of the time, in every state, in every part of this country, in every part of this world. Our children are being failed miserably. Our children are being found in landfills. Our children are being found in wooded areas. Our children are being found in abandoned buildings and bushes on the side of the road like yesterday's trash. On a daily basis, all throughout this country, our children are being failed. You can't even turn your back for a quick second these days. You cannot leave your children unsupervised for a quick second, because that's all it actually takes. It only takes a quick second for someone to just walk up. You turn your back one quick second, one quick minute, and your child is gone. And then you're finding your child on the side of the road or going to identify your body. Like, how many times are we going to go through this and not hold someone accountable? Like I said, we as parents are responsible for our children. We should not put our children in those type of situations where they can just be snatched up. Our children are vulnerable. They rely on us to protect them. What part of that some of you parents just don't get? You can't make other people responsible for watching your children. It's not other people's responsibility to do that. It is your responsibility as a parent to watch over your child. It is your responsibility as a parent to give your child supervision. We have children, 6th graders, going to school with 9mm guns. We almost lost another child in 6th grade just the other day, where a 6th grader took a 9mm gun to a DC charter school. We are losing our children in a drastic number. We have parents walking around here that should be charged with criminal neglect. It is your fault. It is Relisha Rudd's mother's fault that she has been missing for 5 years now. It's not the police's fault. It's not the community's fault. It is her mother's fault. Because regardless if she was in a government facility, a state facility, and nobody gave a damn about her child, she was supposed to give a damn about her child. It is BB's, Brittany Bowen's fault that Malia Davis is dead right now, her child. It's not the state's fault. It's not CPS's fault. But there are some things that they should be held accountable for. But it's not their fault. The teaching and the raising of our children starts at home. What part of that do y'all not get? How many children are we going to find in landfills? How many? There's no laws in these states to protect these children either. Because like I said, a lot of you parents should be held accountable. You should be arrested. You should be arrested. You should be in jail right now for the disappearance of your children. It was your responsibility. It was no one else's responsibility but yours. That's it. You can point your finger. You can say whatever the hell you want to say after the situation has already taken a turn for the worse. Because you know what? It's no bringing none of these children back. None of these children are not coming back. We're watching their funerals, their flower arrangements, all of that stuff. The thousands of people that attend these funerals, these memorial services, these canvassings. All of that shit could be avoided simply if we just pay better attention to our children. Why is that so hard? Why do we have our priorities so fucked up? What is more important? There's nothing more important. No, there's not. Why do these good parents have to be put in a situation now? Because you know what? I'm going to fight my ass off until I get this law passed. And I'm going to get this law passed that charge you unfit parents, you motherfuckers that just sat around and just let your babies just take care of themselves. I'm going to make sure if something happened to your child, it's not going to be nobody's fault but your own. And I'm going to make sure that your ass is arrested for criminal neglect. I promise you that. I'm going to fight like hell until I get that law passed. And it will be passed. It will be passed. I'm going to fight. I'm going to go down here and get in front of your senators' faces, all 100 of them. All 100 of them. And I'm going to make sure that this law is passed where you unfit bitches that just simply just let your children run wild and don't take care of them. I'm going to make sure that you all are locked up. If something happens to your children, there will be no one else taking the blame for your fucking stupidity and your laziness and your neglect. That will not happen no more. This shit calls for drastic measures. Because see, all of these children that have died, that wasn't a learning experience for you. You didn't learn anything from that. You didn't learn anything from that at all. You simply didn't learn a goddamn thing. It's more and more children just dying. And enough is enough for me. And I'm going to make sure that your asses, when you are responsible for your child's disappearance, when you just let your child run free, when you just give up all responsibility, do not supervise your kids, and they end up in a bad situation, I'm going to make sure you as the parent be arrested and you be charged for criminal neglect. Okay? I'm going to make sure that. I promise you I am. And I'm going to fight. And I'm going to keep on fighting. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I have to do to make sure that another child is not affected by this horrible things that go on. There will be no more Cupcake McKinneys, y'all. There will be no more of them. There will be no more Relisha Rudds. There will be no more Malaya Davises. There ain't going to be no more Anaya Garrett's. There are going to be no more Malachi Lawson's. No more. I promise you that there will be no more children dying by your neglectful asses. Simply because you can't give them the love and the attention that they so much deserve. What is more important than your children? I would never understand that. Since you want to play hardball and y'all as parents, y'all just want to keep on sitting around allowing this shit to happen, I'm going to make sure that you don't allow it to happen. Because see, that's why you do the things that you do. That's why you be neglectful to these children, because there's nothing in the law that stops you. They take your children from you. Some of you don't give a damn. Some of you don't go through the programs even trying to get them back. But I tell you one thing, I'm going to make sure that near one of you let another child die on your watch. And it is your watch when it's your child. It's your watch. And I'm going to make sure that you are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law when it comes to a child dying in your care. Okay? That's just what it is. Because it doesn't mean anything to a lot of you. Y'all see the stuff that goes on, and yet you just still feel free to do some of the neglectful shit that you do when it comes to these kids. Since y'all want to put them in danger, and these lives that have been lost thus far doesn't mean a goddamn thing to you, I'm going to make sure that you pay. You understand? I'm going to make sure of it. Somebody is going to have to do it. Somebody is going to have to step up and protect these children. Since some of you all can't protect your own children, y'all leave them in harm's way like they're nothing. Like it is so much other shit that's more important than your child. Some of you let your children raise themselves. And I'm sick of seeing all of these children die simply because of your neglect. Your neglect. Nobody else's. You can't blame that shit on nobody else but yourself. I pray that a lot of you all actually take a look at this little 3-year-old baby that they get ready to bury. And they get ready to bury, put to rest a 5-year-old, Nevaeh Adams. She's going to be put to rest as well. Her remains were found on the same day as CUPCAKE's. Someone just stabbed her up and threw her in the trash dumpster like yesterday's trash. And like I said, I'm going to make sure that our children are protected one way or another. It has to be done like this because drastic times calls for drastic measures. And these are drastic times when we're losing our children. And nobody seems to give a damn, especially the people that raised them. If you would just simply just take some time out to just pay attention to your children, it would save their life. It would make their lives so much better. It would make this world so much better. What's more important? I pray that you all watch that little baby's funeral. See the pain and the anguish on the parents' faces. I pray that you all take something from this and learn something from this. You really need to use this as a learning experience. If none of the other children who have died thus far affect you, this one really should. It really should. It should have your eyes wide open to know that people literally just walk up to your child, don't even know them, and just snatch them off the streets. Yeah. It's one of those things where you say anything is possible. You would never think that people can be so evil. There you have it. There you have it. It's blatantly right there in your face how evil people can be towards children. It lets you know that we do have people out here that walks this earth amongst you and me and our kids and our grandchildren that have impulses that make them react and want to harm a child. It might be gratitude for them and pleasure for them, but just imagine what that little baby went through. Just imagine that. 3 years old. Just imagine what any of these children who have suffered such horrific deaths went through their last minutes. And when you think about that, think about if you would want something like that to happen to your child, your niece, your nephew, your grandbaby. Think about that. If you would want to feel that pain. Because I know all of us felt something. I know all of us felt something witnessing that whole thing play out. I know you had to feel something in your heart, even the most cold-heartedest people. I know that touched your heart to know that something like that happened, that it was right there blatantly in your face, that somebody can walk up on your child and just take them. Just take them. And then you find your baby 10, 11, 12 days later in the trash dumpster. Just imagine that. Get yourself together, parents. Start paying better attention to these kids. You should not want to keep feeling and seeing these type of things take place in your life. I can't believe that we live in times where people at least don't have love in their heart for a child. Like, we actually had people. I never would have believed that at first. You know, I never would have believed that we live in a world where we have people that were actually, they have that much hatred and they have that much demon and just cold-hearted that they will hurt a child. A poor little innocent child. No matter what they might have been through in life, we live amongst people that hurt children, that find it okay to hurt children. We live in this world where we have grown-ass people that lust over children, that have impulsive sexual behaviors behind children. We have websites up where they see that it's okay to make sex dolls just to help these perverts out here, to kind of stop them from doing something like that to one of your children. We live in that type of world where people think it's okay. People think that it's okay. They label these monsters that hurt children, that have sexual feelings for children. They label them. They give them a label. They call them sick, mentally ill. And y'all think that it's okay. And y'all know that we live in this world like this. And yet you continue to allow your children to be taken away from here like it's nothing. Y'all better wake up. And y'all better start protecting these babies. Because it's going to come a point in time where you're not going to have no other choice. Or your assets is going to go to jail. Yep. Drastic times calls for drastic measures. Yep. Drastic times call for drastic measures.